Hello everyone, my name is Cristobal Garcia. I am currently a master's student for the College of Professional Studies at Northeastern University. Thank you for checking out my signature assignment in which I will discuss the current controversial issue of equity in higher education. This presentation was created for the course EDU 6050 Education as an Advanced Field of Study taught by Professor Jennifer Madonna. For this particular presentation, I have chosen to review how much more effective equitable support services are over programs that offer unequal treatment to all first-year college students. Please note, to not ruin the flow of the presentation, I have included my citations individuals to run concurrently with my discussion. So let's begin by exploring the background regarding the topic of equity. According to the Center for Global Education, equity in education means that personal or social circumstances such as gender, ethnic origin, or family background are not obstacles to achieving educational potential, and that all individuals reach at least basic minimum level of skills. To better understand this topic, we need to frame this idea within the context of higher education. In the case study "Making Diversity Everyone's Business", Garrett Hoffman and Tanya D. Mitchell observed the movement of a single activist group within a large public institution. Their observations highlighted some of the key flaws that exist in trying to provide equal services to students without regard to their personal backgrounds and needs. The activist movements form when students feel marginalized in what is supposed to be an inclusive educational environment. This feeling will at times develop in educational communities that have a diverse student body, but have not provided equitable support services to them. The issue at hand is not that the college or university wants to neglect these student populations. Rather, many institutions make the initial assumption that all students have an equal starting point for success, that by not recognizing the different backgrounds of students, they are creating an environment wherein everyone is treated equally. But the truth is that each of these groups face different obstacles that can hinder their success and place them socially, academically, and financially behind their peers, even before they set foot in a college classroom. Equal support means that all students receive the same kind and amount of services. However, due to the wide gap in the amount of support during the K-12 school system, students that come from low-income neighborhoods often find that they are less prepared than some of their more affluent peers when it comes to skill level in their academic courses and integration into the college culture. Students come from different backgrounds and skill levels, so while students that achieve enrollment in a university have proven to be academically capable, they will still need additional guidance to earn their degrees. This additional guidance comes in the form of equitable support. Equitable support is the definition of meeting the specific needs of each student to ensure that they can reach the same skill level of their peers. This might seem like a moot point since an assumption could easily be made that colleges and universities only enroll students that meet the admission criteria, which sets specific standards to what courses students had to pass to receive an acceptance letter. The thing about higher education is that student success depends on more than just their academic results. As an academic advisor, I currently work with a student population of whom the majority will be the first in their family to enroll in college. This is definitely something that they should be proud of, but my concern is that when they enroll in a college or university, they will confront issues outside of the classroom that will make their undergraduate career a challenge, and without the additional support from their college, they are more at risk for failure. And this concern is something that is shared by many college access professionals, which is why there is such a push to provide equitable services prior to students graduating from high school. The National Association for College Admission Counseling has a directory for hundreds of college access programs similar to the ones that I work with, and all of them share the same goal of increasing the number of students that enroll in a college after high school and ensure that they have the skill set to succeed in their undergraduate programs. However, though there is this push to meet every need that students have, it is unlikely that all the issues that require equitable solutions will be addressed in the K-12 school system. Equity can encompass multiple topics, so as we continue this presentation, we will limit our discussion to the following 3 points. 1. Financial literacy. Students need to be financially conscious to graduate with little debt and manage their money adequately. 2. New environment. Students can face additional pressure trying to fit into a new environment that does not always feel welcoming. And 3. Skill equivalency. Academic learning in college requires more independent study than hand-holding. The focus of attention to these issues is due to the research that has been conducted on them that explain how they have a significant impact on the success and failure of student groups that do not receive the equitable support services that they need. This is not to say that there are no other obstacles that need to be addressed, but within these parameters we can look at this specific group of students and understand how equitable services in college can be more effective than taking a one-size-fits-all approach to student support. Beginning with financial literacy, let's look at the specific topic of student loans. When students apply for the free application for federal student aid, they are required to complete an entrance financial counseling session to learn the importance of managing their student loans and how to stay on top of them and not be left with too much debt. Yet every year after graduation, there is still a large number of students that are in debt, and of this group, the majority of them are first-generation college students. As I mentioned earlier, students that apply for federal loans receive a mandatory counseling session, but this is not enough for all students. There are still some that need additional instruction. Aside from struggling to understand their new financial responsibilities, these same students are still adapting to their new environment. Unlike their peers, first-generation college students are experiencing everything about higher education for the first time and have mixed feelings about their new home. These students have received their letter of acceptance and been told by teachers and counselors that they have earned their right to be at an institution of higher learning. Yet the fact that no one in their family has ever been in a college or university can leave them with a subconscious feeling that they do not belong to their campus. In some instances, the change of environment and interactions with continuing generation college students has negative physical and mental consequences. The added stress of fitting into the college culture is an external factor that is not related to academics, but can influence student performance in class. This is an emotional stressor that is not as easily identified by college personnel and requires a more thorough investigation by the administration to support these students. The concept of equal support for all students is inefficient. Even programs that focus solely on academic support can be at fault when trying to cater the exact same services for every student. Grades and test scores tell only part of the story behind the effort that is put in by students, and a failing grade does not always mean that the student lacks the capacity to understand the concepts in class. Intervention programs can at times refer students to tutoring, which can help with comprehension, but in the case of first-generation college students, the support that they need expands beyond understanding a core subject. Some examples of this include the development of skills in time management and independent study. Students that come from low-income communities will often lack this specific skill set. They are able to pass high school through the routine and regular support by teachers in class, but when left on their own, they struggle to adapt to a more independent form of study, which is a requirement in all higher education institutions. Again, we notice that the students are capable of understanding the college level material, but it's the transition from a controlled environment to being independent that can cause them to falter in their coursework. With some of the listed issues that first-generation college students face, some of them form through ignorance. Some students believe that the only purpose a college or university serves is to provide the classes needed to earn a degree, but higher education institutions offer more than that. Progress can be made to provide more equitable services, but this does not mean that the services that are currently in place should be completely ignored. It is important to make students aware that the college is there to offer a helping hand to guide them to success. Many of these students already have an internal drive to want to succeed. In some cases, students are pursuing higher learning to not only achieve personal success, but also graduate with the knowledge on how to best care for their family and community. Yet in spite of this motivation, students are still dependent on the ability of higher education institutions to provide an environment that can help them achieve success. In the article Negotiating Multiple Identities Within Multiple Frames, Mark P. Orb's research discussion explained that many first-generation college students do not feel comfortable reaching out for help or even interacting with some of their peers while in college. The common response being that they do not feel that their college or university supports people like them. Understanding the motivation, culture, and mentality of student groups marks the first steps in addressing the needs of any specific demographic of the student body. To provide equitable services to every student is a learning process by higher education that must be proactive in its approach to continuously adapt to current trends. but when accomplished can have lasting positive effects that will give everyone, regardless of background, an equal opportunity for success. Thank you again for checking out my presentation regarding the topic of equitable support. To view the script for this presentation, click on the link in the description.